the hell? What? All these devastating type names, aren't they? Like something big, something huge is about to go down with Marvel. All right. Are you ready? Get over and follow the Cosmic Wonder. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. Marvel Studios is reportedly building to another huge event that is not an Avengers film. Obviously, right now, Marvel is building to Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, but Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has already confirmed that they are well into development of things that are coming after Secret Wars, in which,
well into development.
Start on Phase 7. Okay. They've actually been starting on Phase 7.
That makes sense with them having 10 years of plans that were destroyed by Eternal's failure. I don't know how they saw it succeeding, but that's a different subject there altogether. But they actually had 10 years of plans for Eternals.
For a pretty long time. And now Jake Schreier, director...
Only God knows what trash was on the way if that film succeeded.
...of the new X-Men film has said that they have started production on the new X-Men film. So they are well underway, but apparently we're going to get a pretty big team-up movie that involves the X-Men, that involves the Avengers, and also involves the Eternals. And some of you might already recognize what this story is. It is Axe.
That's so funny that I mentioned Eternals. Oh, I figured they would bring them back sooner or later, though.
AXE Judgment Day, which AXE stands for Avengers, X-Men, Eternals. And according to a new report from the insider Alex Perez at thecosmiccircus.com, Marvel Studios right now is working on an adaptation of AXE Judgment Day. This event shows the Eternals targeting the X-Men when it's revealed that the X-Men were descendants from the Deviants. Now they've switched up kind of the origin story of the Deviants and the Eternals in the MCU, but perhaps with the reset coming for the main timeline, they could change their origin story. And this could really be our first look or a first hint at what Marvel Studios has planned for the future, because up until now, the big team-up films have just been Avengers films, which of course we love. It's been awesome to see the MCU build to Avengers movies and have all of these characters come together, but we've never had the X-Men in the same universe as the Avengers before. Technically, right now, we still don't have the Fantastic Four in the same universe as the Avengers, but they're coming. We saw that in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. So
Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals. I'm definitely only going to that movie for the Avengers and the X-Men. Eternals was horrible!
So everybody's looking forward to Phase 7, where all of these heroes are going to be together, finally, for the first time ever in the same universe.
Finally!
With that comes a great new opportunity to do a different type of team-up film, a different type of crossover film. It's no longer just going to be Avengers films that are going to be these big team-up crossover events. We're going to have X-Men team-up events as well, and we'll have, hopefully, some other crazy big team-ups like Spider-Man with the Fantastic Four. So the Axe Judgment Day event is something that we could look forward to in the future, where you don't just have an Avengers movie that's its own big crossover, or an X-Men film that's also a big crossover, but all of them coming together. This is basically what we've been waiting for, and we're going to get a little taste
Still an interesting concept, though.
of that in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, but keep in mind, in Phase 7, we're going to have a lot of new faces. We'll have some familiar characters, but a lot of new faces playing those characters. For example, Marvel's president Kevin Feige did say that ultimately, eventually, they will recast Iron Man. They will recast Captain America. And I think that they should, but also keep in mind, it's still a business. Disney and Marvel are businesses, and they need to make...
Yeah, and they've been flushing their businesses down the toilet. They've been making the worst decisions that they could possibly make if they wanted to make money, if they wanted to increase the value of their company. Woo! Have they been doing bad?
Make money, and they know that Captain America and Iron Man and the Hulk and Black Widow, they're characters that make money. So they're going to want to recast those.
Doesn't mean that they won't destroy them, though. You know what I mean? They are showing that they're continuing to move forward with the stuff that is killing the brand. So let's see what happens.
Parts anyways. But I really think they should for the story, because we finally do have all of the characters in the same universe. They can all interact now. It would be a shame to not have Iron Man or Captain America or Black Widow there.
Remember how amped I was when I heard that they were buying 20th Century Fox? And at the time, there were people that was, oh no, man, with them owning all them, it's kind of bad, it's a monopoly. No one was even thinking about them destroying it with woke. That's not what it was. People had a concern about them owning all of those brands for other reasons. Who would have thought that something else would have reared its ugly head and destroyed the company?
Or the Eternals. Now, it's been a little bit since we've heard about the Eternals, but recently we've actually heard a lot. And Judgment Day involves the Celestials, and no doubt we're going to see the Celestials again in the MCU. They did set that up in a pretty big way in the Eternals, and I personally thought that introducing...
Celestials got spider eyes. If you know enough about nature, you know what I'm talking about.
The giant celestial gods was an awesome part of the Eternals. And we know eventually, if Marvel really does want to continue with, I would say some of the Eternals, I don't think they're going to be getting all of them back, but some of them, if they want to continue with their story, and they do, we'll talk about that in just a bit, they'll have to kind of pick up where they left off. They technically don't have to, but for Judgment Day, the Celestials coming to judge, which they said they were going to do, makes a lot of sense. I say they don't have to because we are going to be in a reset universe. But perhaps the Celestials survive the reset and they still want to go and judge Earth. And the Judgment Day event involves pretty much everybody fighting each other, which would be really cool to see on screen. But ultimately, Judgment Day involves a celestial progenitor coming to judge the people of Earth, much like Arishem said that he was going to come back and do. He said that he will spare the people of the Earth, but the memories of the Celestials will determine if they are worthy to live, and he will return for judgment. This is pretty much what Progenitor says in the Judgment Day event. He says, people of Earth, listen, you are bickering children. This planet is ruined. You have acted with unrelenting...
That's the damn truth. Bickering children.
Kindness to one another. You leave me no option. This...
Go to Twitter, Reddit, YouTube comments. They got that right. Wonder if an Eternal is out there with 6 eyes watching.
This is your Judgment Day. You have 24 hours to justify yourselves. You will be judged individually. You will be judged as a collective. If there is more that is just than wicked, you will live. But if you are found lacking, there will be no tomorrow. And that judgment is reportedly still coming from Arishem in the next phase of the MCU. You can see how this would fit really well with how the Eternals left off. Now, a lot of people have been questioning if the Eternals were ever going to return, and according to something revealed by Kumail Nanjiani, the actor who plays Kingo, Marvel had insanely huge plans for the Eternals, but since it basically bombed,
video game
they
plans.
scrapped them all, at least for the moment. But Kumail Nanjiani revealed that he signed on for 6 different movies, a theme park, and a video game. I reacted to it on my other channel, which you should totally check out if you want to.
Every time I hear it, I'm just like, ooh, who talked? Like, did he just sign on because it's Marvel and it was going to be a cash machine? He was just like, they want me? Okay, no, you got it. Like, I could get that, especially around the time that it happened, because things weren't blown destroyed yet. But I don't know, man. I feel like if you read between the lines of what they were doing, like, things were already failing, you know, with ideas like that. You know, there's already the debacle with Captain Marvel, and how they claim it made $1 billion, but the theaters say, and the empty theaters around the world says it doesn't. Then I talked to people in Hollywood, and they were like, look, studios buy up seats all the time to make their numbers look better. So this is like this rumor going around. It's probably true. You know what I mean? So, you know, the writing was on the wall. Wasn't huge on the wall. But there was, you know, for a bad time call, Marvel. That number was on the bathroom wall. Saying, I don't know, man. I don't think I could have been talked into or fooled into signing on with Marvel at that time. If you really got a thumb on the pulse of the fandom and the movies, if you signed, your knees was knocking when you did. You were just hoping, you had your fingers crossed. Knees was knocking and you had your fingers crossed when you signed. You were just hoping things were going to work out.
But listen to what he said.
And it came out and it got really bad reviews and it didn't do that well. Mm-hmm. And it like shattered me too much. And that's when I was like, oh, I need to like go to therapy to figure this out.
No kidding. What was it?
It's a movie called Eternals.
Okay, yes.
A big Marvel movie.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be my job for the next 10 years. Right. So you sign on. I signed on for 6 movies. I signed on for a video game. I signed on for a theme park ride. They make you sign up for all this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And so you're like, oh, this is the next 10 years of my life. So I'll be doing, Marvel movies every year. And then in between, I'll do like my own little things, whatever I want to do. And then none of that happened. But for me, what really hit me was just realizing too much of my self-esteem is tied up in other people's reaction to my work.
Yeah, you know what? Don't get into anything in entertainment to seek validation from other people. Get into it because you enjoy it, maybe your dream or whatever. But if you're seeking validation from others, it's going to be a problem. Because there's always going to be people that don't like your stuff. And you may become successful and just, become successful. Usually more people like your stuff than people that don't. But you're always going to have detractors and stuff like that. And you may just do something that just doesn't work out. So you can't tie it to that. You know what I mean?
Gotta figure out. It was so, first of all, people have way bigger problems than this, much bigger.
Not everyone's in Eternals.
Not everyone's in Eternals. Honestly, too many people are, though.
Too many people
in Eternals.
So Marvel had massive plans for the Eternals, but since it all bombed, nothing ever really happened. However, those actors still have their contracts. At least, so we believe. And the Eternals did get quite a bit of hate, but I've seen more people come around to liking that movie more recently.
Most people do not like that movie, good sir.
It's quite different. It was a little slow, but I think Marvel realizes
that
if they scale back on how many Eternals there are, because let's face it, that was a giant cast and commit.
You don't even have to scale back as how many there were. There were plenty of Avengers, and they were all great, and people liked them all, and people could name every single one of them. This was just a bad movie.
Nanjiani even said there were too many people.
No,
so
there
if you
wasn't.
scale back a little bit and you have the Eternals appear with other characters in the MCU, like the X-Men, like
did
the
it right.
Fantastic Four,
They've
and
been
you
all
give
right.
them a little better writing, things start to get really exciting all of a sudden. Especially if you involve their story with the Celestials, which I do really think they need to do. And I really also wish I've seen more people come around to liking that movie more recently. It was quite different. It was a little slow, but I think Marvel realizes that if they scale back on how many Eternals there are, because then Kumail Nanjiani even said there were too many people. So if you scale back a little bit and you have the Eternals appear with other characters in the MCU, like the X-Men, like the Fantastic Four, and you give them a little better writing.
So once we got to what? Infinity War, Endgame, what do we have? We have Cap, Iron Man, Banner, Thor, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Ant-Man, Falcon, Black Panther, Spider-Man. That's 10 right there. That's 10 right there. Come on. No, it's not about that. You just did a sucky movie.
And things start to get really exciting all of a sudden, especially if you involve their story with the Celestials,
Vision,
which I do really think they need to do. And I really also wish that we saw
Captain
Galactus
Marvel,
and the Fantastic Four first.
Valkyrie.
It was awesome, but I think having
all these damn characters, you know what I'm saying? Avengers or not, and get the Heimdall. No. Don't even try that. Not the amount of characters. The movie sucked.
He's just so giant, much bigger than the Earth would have been awesome. Then he could have shrunk down and went on Earth physically. Maybe in the future. But I personally think that the Eternals hunting down the X-Men because they're mutants, because maybe in their eyes they're not a natural part of the world, and the Avengers kind of stepping in and getting involved in the fight as well, would be a pretty cool movie. And again, it would be a massive crossover film. Kumail Nanjiani said that he thought he was going to be doing Marvel films for the next 10 years, and that still might be the case. In fact, according to this report, it is, and it does make sense to bring the Eternals back. Not because their movie was a masterpiece or anything like that, but because the characters can have a really good place in the MCU. But go ahead and let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Would you like to see the Eternals and the Celestials return to the MCU?
Wasp, the Guardians of the Galaxy, like all those characters were in these movies. And nobody felt overwhelmed. None of that stuff. Like I said, Avenger or not, but a bunch of good guys were all in it. Get the hell out of here. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. I find, though, the concept of the movie very interesting. Excuse me. As long as they do it right, of course, I always have to put that caveat, because we no longer in an era where most of the time we like it to love it. Now people can't stand the movies to they're bored or it's extremely mediocre. You know what I mean? Super mid. So, yeah. 10 million subscribers.